tired of people dismissing you, talking over you, or treating you like you don't matter? In this audiobook, you'll get the exact 12-chapter blueprint to shut down disrespect and command respect effortlessly. Welcome to Audiobook World, your go-to for self-improvement masterclasses in audiobook form. Discover 3 game-changing takeaways. Build unbreakable inner boundaries, turn rejection into rocket fuel for success, and surround yourself with elevators, not anchors, all in 12 powerful chapters. Hit subscribe for more life-changing blueprints and use the timestamps below to jump right in. Imagine this. You're standing in a crowded room, heart pounding, as someone dismisses your words with a smirk, their eyes sliding past you like you're invisible. That sting, the raw ache of disrespect, hits like a slap you never saw coming. But what if I told you that in this very moment, you're not a victim of their disregard? You're on the brink of reclaiming your power. Welcome to a journey that will transform how you handle those who don't respect you. Not with anger or retreat, but with unshakable strength. Lean in, listen. Your liberation starts now. Chapter 1. The invisible chains of disrespect. Imagine a shadow slipping into your life, uninvited, wrapping around your chest like cold fingers you can't quite shake off. You're in the middle of sharing your heart with someone you trust, a friend, a colleague, a loved one, and suddenly their eyes glaze over. Your words hang in the air, unanswered, dismissed, with a casual wave or a cutting laugh. That moment doesn't just sting, it burrows deep, planting seeds of doubt that whisper you're not enough. Welcome to the raw truth of disrespect, listener. It's not the loud slap across the face that breaks us. No, it's this quiet erosion, this invisible chain that binds us tighter with every ignored glance, every belittled dream, right now in this very breath. You're feeling it, aren't you? That ache that says something inside you deserves more. Hold on, because this chapter isn't about wallowing in the pain. It's about seeing those chains for what they are, and beginning to snap them one link at a time. Let's step into the heart of it. Disrespect isn't random cruelty from the universe. It's a mirror, held up by others to reflect back fragments of your own unseen power. Picture a vast ocean, calm on the surface but churning with hidden currents below. You stand at the shore, waves lapping at your feet, and someone hurls a stone into the water. Ripples spread, disturbing your peace. That's disrespect. A stone thrown not because of the ocean's depth, but because the thrower fears their own shallowness. They see your steadiness, your quiet strength, and it unsettles them. So they toss that stone to feel bigger, to ripple your calm, and prove their waves matter more. But here's where the foundation of our journey begins. Disrespect only changes you if you let it define your shores. Think of Maria, a woman I once knew who poured her soul into building a small community garden in her neighborhood. Neighbors promised help, then ghosted her, mocking her passion behind her back. Dreamer, they called her, as weeds overtook the plots she tended alone. Each snide comment felt like dirt shoveled onto her spirit. She could have quit, let the garden wither like her hope. Instead, she knelt in the soil one dawn, hands trembling, and whispered to herself, "This isn't about them. This is my earth." From that moment, the chains loosened. She grew her garden into a thriving haven, inviting only those who saw its beauty. Maria didn't fight the disrespect. She outgrew it. You see, listener, the first step in handling those who don't respect you is recognizing that their disregard is a projection, a shadow play of their fears, dancing on your light. Feel that truth settle in your bones. Disrespect thrives in silence, in the spaces where we question our worth. It's the coworker who steals credit for your late-night breakthroughs, leaving you nodding politely in meetings while resentment simmers. It's the family member who cuts you off mid-sentence, their voice drowning yours because listening feels like surrender. These moments aren't isolated, they're threads in a larger tapestry of human fragility. We all crave connection, yet fear vulnerability. So when someone like you shows up authentic, striving, they lash out to protect their fragile egos. But you're not fragile. You're the quiet force they've forgotten exists within themselves. Now, lean in closer. Let's awaken that awareness deep inside you. Close your eyes for a second and replay the last time disrespect landed. Feel the heat rise in your chest, the words you swallowed, the door you slammed in your own heart. Now breathe. See it not as an attack on you, but as a signal, a flare lighting up the path to your freedom. This is the core idea we'll build everything on. Disrespect is never about your value. It's always a confession of theirs. When they overlook you, they're blind to their own blindness. When they belittle you, they're shouting their insecurities into the void. Your power emerges the instant you stop handing them the key to your self-worth. Let me paint this with a story that might mirror your own. There was a young teacher named Elias, standing before a room of skeptical students on his first day. His voice cracked with nerves as he shared his vision for the year, lessons that blended history with real-world fire. But the class leader, a sharp-witted teen named Jordan, rolled his eyes and muttered, "This guy's got nothing." Laughter rippled through the room like poison gas. Elias felt the chains tighten. Every snicker a link forged from his deepest fear of failure. He could have barked orders, demanded silence. Instead, he paused, met Jordan's gaze and said softly, "I see fire in you, Jordan. Let's channel it together." That simple acknowledgement didn't erase the disrespect, but it shifted the room. Over weeks, Jordan became his fiercest ally, drawing others in. Elias learned what you must grasp now. The wound of disrespect heals not through confrontation, but through unshakable clarity of your own light. This clarity is your foundation, listener. It's the bedrock beneath the storms. Without it, every slight becomes a crack in your spirit, widening into canyons of self-doubt. With it, those cracks become rivers carrying away the debris, nourishing new growth. Reflect on this. How many times have you replayed a disrespectful encounter in your mind, replaying alternate endings where you won? That mental loop is the chain pulling you under. Break it by affirming your sovereignty. You're not a pawn in their game, you're the architect of your realm. Their lack of respect doesn't diminish you. It highlights the treasure they can't see. Dive deeper into the emotional layers. Disrespect stirs ancient wounds, doesn't it? That child within you who longed for approval, who hid dreams to fit in. Now, as an adult, those old echoes amplify the pain. But here's the profound shift. Owning those echoes, imagine cradling that inner child, whispering, "You are seen, you are whole." In that embrace, disrespect loses its venom. It becomes a teacher, urging you to rise not in spite of others, but because of your inherent wholeness. This isn't fluffy hope, it's hard-won wisdom. I've walked paths where crowds cheered, only to face silence from those closest. Each time, the lesson echoed. Your worth isn't voted on by the audience, it's etched in your essence. As we build this journey together, feel the emotional tone settling, a warm fire against the chill of neglect. You're not alone in this. Millions navigate these waters, mistaking disrespect for destiny. But you've chosen the path of awakening. This first chapter plants the seed. Awareness is your unbreakable root. Water it with reflection, sunlight it with truth, and watch it tower above the weeds. Yet this is just the soil. True transformation demands we uncover why they wield disrespect like a weapon, and why it so often misses the mark on who you truly are. That revelation awaits in the shadows ahead. Turn the page with me, listener. Let's illuminate what lies beneath their gaze. Chapter 2. The hidden roots of their disdain. Feel the ground shift beneath you, listener, as if the earth itself is parting to reveal buried roots. Twisting in the dark soil of the human soul, you're face to face with someone whose words slice like hidden thorns. A casual remark that pierces your confidence, a glance that strips away your dignity without a sound. In that instant, your world tilts, and you wonder, why me? Why now? But pause here, in this electric tension, because what you're witnessing isn't an assault from the stars. It's a desperate flare from their inner wilderness, a cry masked as contempt. This chapter plunges into those hidden roots, unearthing why they disrespect you, not to excuse them, but to liberate you. Grip this truth tightly. Their disdain is a map to their own uncharted fractures, and understanding it hands you the compass to navigate free. Let's till this soil together, turning over the first layer with unflinching honesty. At its core, disrespect blooms from the garden of envy they dare not tend. Imagine a towering oak in a forest of saplings. The oak doesn't beg for sunlight. It simply claims it, roots delving deep, branches reaching wide. The saplings, stunted and straining, don't admire its strength. They resent it, whispering winds of bitterness that bend their own growth. You are that oak, listener. Your quiet pursuits, whether chasing a bold career shift, nurturing a hidden talent, or simply holding space for your own joy, cast a shadow they can't escape. They disrespect, not because you're lesser, but because your presence reminds them of paths they abandoned. This isn't theory, it's the pulse of humanity, where one person's light exposes another's dimming flame. Breathe that in. Now let's walk through Lena's story, a single mother who transformed her garage into a vibrant art studio after years of quiet longing. Her canvases burst with color, drawing neighbors to peek through the window. But one, a retired artist named Victor, whose own brushes had gathered dust for decades, sneered each time he passed. Amateur hour, he'd mutter loud enough for her to hear, his tone laced with acid. Lena's heart clenched. Had she overstepped? Nights blurred as doubt crept in, her paints untouched. Then, one rainy afternoon, she overheard Victor confessing to a friend, seeing her create, "It shames me. I stopped when life got hard." Suddenly, his thorns made sense. They weren't about her art. They were weeds choking his regret. Lena didn't confront him. She painted on, her studio a beacon. Victor's visits softened, then stopped. His roots couldn't reach her soil anymore. See the lesson here? Their disrespect is fertilizer for their stagnation, not poison for your bloom. Delve deeper into the spiritual undercurrents that bind us all. We are threads in a vast tapestry, woven from light and shadow. When someone disrespects you, they're not cutting your thread, they're tangling their own, knots of unresolved pain pulling tighter. Consider the boss who overlooks your stellar reports, favoring flashier but shallower work. Beneath his curt nods lies a tremor, perhaps a mentor who once dismissed him the same way, leaving scars that now bleed onto you. Or the sibling who mocks your choices, their laughter a shield against their own crossroads of fear. These roots run ancestral, echoing through generations. Parents who prized perfection, leaving children armored in criticism. Spiritually, this is karma's quiet echo, not punishment, but invitation to heal. By seeing their roots, you don't absorb the mud, you step onto higher ground, your spirit untethered. Reflect with me now. Recall a time when disdain washed over you like a sudden squall. That colleague's eye roll during your presentation, the partner's sigh at your excitement. In the aftermath, did you chase their validation, pruning your own branches to fit their shade? Stop, that's the illusion they plant. Their roots, twisted by comparison, starved by self-neglect, seek to entwine yours, draining your vitality. But awareness severs the vines. Ask yourself, what fear in them does my strength provoke? The answer isn't blame, it's compassion wrapped in detachment. You become the observer, not the prey. This emotional intelligence is your lantern, illuminating that their contempt is a confession. I see your assent, and it terrifies my stillness. Let this awaken something ancient within you. Picture an ancient tree, roots plunging through stone, unmoved by surface storms. That's your essence, resilient, eternal. Disrespect from others is mere wind, rattling leaves they mistake for the trunk. I've stood in circles where my words sparked awe in some, venom in others. One man, Harlan, once spat at my ideas on living boldly. Fool's dreams. Later I learned his youth was crushed by a father's iron rule. Dreams buried young. His root rot poisoned his speech, but never touched my core. You hold this power too. Their hidden motivations, envy disguised as superiority, pain posing as wit, reveal a universal truth. Disrespect is the smoke from their smoldering regrets, not fire meant to consume you. Feel the warmth of this realization spreading, like dawn chasing night. You're not the target, you're the mirror they shatter in fear. This chapter's gift is freedom through sight. Seeing their roots frees your steps. No longer do you wrestle shadows. You walk in light, their disdain glancing off like rain on unyielding stone. Carry this conviction. Their why is their burden, not yours. It reshapes every encounter, turning daggers into distant echoes. Yet, this understanding is only half the harvest. To truly thrive, you must cultivate your own unassailable ground. An inner sanctuary where no external root can intrude. That sacred building awaits us next, listener, promising walls of pure sovereignty. Step forward with me into the heart of your power. Chapter 3. Forging your unbreakable inner citadel. Sense it now, listener. The rumble of stone rising from deep within, massive walls assembling brick by ancient brick under your command, sealing out the howling winds of judgment that once battered your spirit. You're alone in a storm-lashed tower, waves crashing below, as voices from the cliffs below hurl taunts like jagged rocks. But up here, high above the fray, their shouts fade to whispers, harmless against your ramparts. This is no dream. It's the birth of your inner citadel, a sovereign realm where disrespect cannot trespass. Feel the weight of those stones settling, heavy with purpose, light with liberation. In this chapter we forge that unbreakable sanctuary, not as escape, but as the throne from which you rule your life. Your heart quickens because you know this is where true power ignites, turning vulnerability into an invincible stronghold. Lean into the essence of this truth. Your inner citadel isn't built from anger or retaliation. It's sculpted from the pure ore of self-sovereignty, a spiritual fortress echoing the eternal architecture of the soul. Imagine roots plunging through Earth's core, drawing from infinite wells of inherent worth, worth that predates any human gaze, any cutting word. Disrespect batters because we've left our gates unguarded, inviting invaders to trample our sacred ground. But close those gates now, the core theme here pulses with clarity. You construct this citadel by reclaiming the divine authority over your inner world, rendering external disdain irrelevant. It's a profound awakening. Your essence is a flame no wind can snuff, a citadel no siege can breach. Let me guide you through the laying of its foundation with a tale that breathes life into stone. Meet Javier, a mechanic whose hands worked miracles on rusted engines, coaxing them back to roaring life. His shop buzzed with customers, yet his uncle, a successful dealer, visited only to scoff, tinkering with scraps. Aim higher, boy. Each jab chipped at Javier's pride until his tools felt heavy, his passion dimmed. One night, under a canopy of stars, he sat amid his wrenches and envisioned his citadel, a vaulted hall where his skill was king, walls inscribed with every engine he'd revived, every life spared from the roadside. "This is my domain," he declared to the shadows. From dawn he moved differently, nodding at his uncle's barbs without retort, retreating to his mental halls to polish his craft. Months later, Javier opened his own garage, thriving while his uncle's empire faltered. The citadel didn't silence the critic. It elevated Javier beyond his reach. You, listener, hold the mason's tools. Begin forging yours. Feel the spiritual depth anchoring these walls. We are vessels of light, forged in the cosmos before words wounded. Disrespect pierces when we forget this, outsourcing our divinity to mortal judges. Reclaim it through ritual. Each morning, stand before an imagined mirror in your citadel's grand chamber, reciting 3 pillars of your unassailable truth. I am the architect of my peace. My value flows from within, unending. No voice storms this keep. Speak them not as mantra, but as decree. Voice steady, eyes fierce. These words transmute doubt into granite. I've witnessed this alchemy in quiet souls, women rising from belittled homes, men shedding corporate scorn, each building higher towers until the world below seemed small. Now deepen the reflection. Picture your citadel's heart, a luminous garden where doubts wither, strengths bloom unchecked. When disrespect looms, a friend's sarcastic quip at your ambition, a stranger's rude shove, pause, step inside, walk its corridors lined with memories of triumphs. The project you nailed against odds, the kindness that mended a stranger's day, the resilience that carried you through loss. These are your battlements, bristling with proof. Their arrows glance off, shattering on stone forged from lived glory. This isn't denial, it's discernment. Emotional intelligence blooms here. You honor the sting without letting it breach the walls. Ask, does this invader carry keys to my realm? Rarely. More often, they rattle gates they can't unlock, their clamor echoing their own emptiness. Breathe with me, letting warmth flood your core. This citadel evolves, layer by layer, envisioned turrets for vision, scanning horizons for allies, not foes, moats of serenity, fed by rivers of forgiveness for past breaches, gates of discernment, opening only to those whose presence honors the space. Javier expanded his thus. He invited mentors into his halls, their wisdom strengthening the stone, while barbs from afar dissolved in the moat. Your life mirrors this. Workplaces become outer courts, filtered through inner gates, relationships honored guests or distant spectators. Spiritually, this aligns your soul with universal flow, energy conserved, not squandered on sieges. Disrespect, once a siege engine, becomes background thunder felt but impotent. Press further into wisdom's quarry. I've tread paths where crowds adored, yet one voice pierced like ice. In my citadel, I inscribed that voice as a gargoyle, grotesque, but part of the architecture, warding off lesser threats. It taught me invaders sharpen vigilance. Yours will too. Nurture daily. Journal entries etched on walls, affirmations sung in halls, meditations that polish floors to mirrors reflecting your radiance. Feel the emotional swell. This isn't isolation, it's exaltation, universally resonant. It touches the nomad, dismissed by tribes, the artist scorned by galleries, the parent undervalued by kin. Your citadel unites us, a shared spiritual bastion against the mortal gale. This chapter completes its arc, leaving you perched atop battlements, surveying a transformed landscape. Satisfaction hums, your inner world secured, power palpable, yet deeper chambers beckon, vaults where boundaries sharpen like blades on whetstone. But mastery demands more than stone. It calls for artful lines drawn in sand and spirit, boundaries spoken soft as silk, firm as forged iron. That artistry unfolds next. Listener, ready to arm your citadel against the tide. Advance with me into elegant defense. Chapter 4. Boundaries. Whispers of steel. Hear the soft rush of a river carving through ancient rock. Listener, gentle on the surface, unyielding beneath, shaping canyons over time without roar or rage. You're at its edge, a persistent intruder splashing too close, testing the current, only to be swept aside by waters that yield but never break. In this moment, feel the current stir within you. Boundaries are that river, flowing from your citadel's heart, not to drown the disrespectful, but to guide them harmlessly away from your sacred flow. No more porous shores eroded by every careless footfall. This chapter awakens the art of boundaries, whispers laced with steel, spoken not in fury, but in the quiet authority of one who knows their depths. Your pulse quickens because this is the elegant dance where you reclaim the reins, turning chaos into channeled peace. Sink into the profound core of this practice. Boundaries aren't iron bars slamming shut. They're luminous threads of intention, woven from spiritual discernment, defining where your essence ends and theirs begins. Picture the universe as an infinite web, each soul a vibrant node pulsing with energy. Disrespect tangles those threads when we allow unchecked access, our light dimming in their drain. The theme here radiates clarity. Boundaries honor your divinity by declaring, this far, no further, with grace that mirrors cosmic order. Planets orbiting without collision, tides respecting shores. They awaken awareness of your infinite worth, transforming encounters from battlegrounds to ballets of mutual respect. This isn't defense, it's divine choreography, personal yet echoing through every human heart, seeking sovereignty. Walk with me into Elena's world, where this art took vivid form. A devoted nurse, she poured endless shifts into healing others, her home a revolving door for colleagues venting woes till midnight. Carla, a sharp-edged doctor, crossed every line, dumping crises on Elena's doorstep, belittling her insights with, "You wouldn't understand real pressure." Exhaustion carved hollows under Elena's eyes, her own dreams of writing poetry gathering dust. One twilight, staring at the river beyond her window, Elena felt the current call. She invited Carla over, tea steaming between them, and said evenly, "Carla, I cherish our bond, but my evenings are now for my own renewal. Let's connect on shifts instead." No accusation, just the river's truth. Carla blinked, then nodded, stunned by the steel in silk. Their friendship refined. Elena's poems flowed freely. Boundaries didn't sever, they sculpted space for both to thrive. Yours begin the same way, listener. Simple declarations that reshape realities. Embrace the spiritual rhythm pulsing here. We are sacred rivers, sourced from eternal springs, meant to nourish without depletion. Disrespect floods when boundaries blur, mistaking our generosity for weakness. Cultivate them through daily communion. Envision your river at dawn, tracing its banks with breath. Name your flows, what energizes, deep talks at dawn, solitude for creation. What erodes, endless complaints, uninvited critiques. Speak them aloud in your citadel. My time is my current, it bends for the worthy. This ritual aligns spirit with matter, invoking universal harmony, where energies respect their lanes. I've seen it transform wanderers, Entrepreneurs shielding visions from naysayers, artists guarding studios from intruders, each whisper forging steel-strong peace. Reflect deeper now, letting insight bloom like lotuses on your waters. When the moment arrives, a relative commandeering your holiday with demands, a client dismissing your rates, you pause at the bank. Feel the intruder's splash. Respond with the river's voice. I hear you, yet this boundary serves my flow. Let's find another path. Watch their surprise. Steel whispers disarm louder than shouts. Emotional wisdom guides. Gauge the splash's source. Is it a storm of their making, or a bridge worth building? Rarely the latter. This discernment prevents resentment's dams, keeping your current pure. Universally, it resonates from boardrooms where executives curve conversations to hearths where parents shield family rhythms. Boundaries unite us in self-honoring flow. Let warmth cascade through you, the river's song soothing old abrasions. Advance the art, layer them like tributaries, soft for casual tides, firmer for floods. With a pushy acquaintance, delighted to chat briefly, deeper dives await aligned times. For chronic oversteps, this pattern dims my light. I step back to preserve it. Practice in mirrors, voice like velvet over granite, eyes holding steady. Elena layered thus. Carla respected evenings. Others followed suit. Her life a confluence of chosen streams. Spiritually, this mirrors karma's grace. Boundaries invite reciprocity, repelling drains while drawing sustenance. No force, just flow. Disrespect once flooding freely, now parts around your banks, carving beauty in its detour. Press into lived wisdom's depths. Along my journey, a mentor once trampled my budding ideas, flooding sessions with his torrent. My river whispered back, your guidance inspires, yet I need space to voice mine fully. He paused, then yielded. Our exchange deepened. Your whispers will too, turning adversaries to allies or distant admirers. Nurture with reflection. Evening journals mapping successful curves, celebrating the peace preserved. Feel the emotional tide rise. This is fulfillment's current, carrying you toward unassailable joy. This chapter's waters settle, leaving you buoyant, boundaries etched in soul-deep flow. Satisfaction laps gently, power palpable in every ripple. Yet mastery calls for voice, those whispers honed to arrows of truth. Piercing without wounding, the river guides, but words propel. Next, we craft speech that commands with serene fire. Listener, flow onward with me, into voiced sovereignty. Chapter 5. The Alchemy of Serene Speech. Feel the spark ignite in your throat. Listener, a golden ember flaring to life amid the storm of swallowed words, transforming raw fury into arrows of light that pierce silence without shattering souls. You're in the thick of it, a voice rising over yours like thunder stealing the sky, eyes rolling as if your truth were dust. Your chest tightens, fists clench for the fight, but then breath deepens and words emerge, not as wildfire, but as dawn's first ray, precise, piercing, poised. This is the alchemy of serene speech, where disrespect meets not rage's roar, but wisdom's whisper that commands the room. Your spirit stirs because this power is yours now. Speech that disarms, elevates, and reclaims the airwaves of every conversation. No more muted echoes, your voice rises sovereign. Grasp the radiant core of this mastery. Serene speech isn't polite evasion or suppressed fire. It's the spiritual forge where emotion transmutes into eloquent truth, delivered from your citadel's highest turret. Envision words as luminous rivers from divine source, pure, directed, nourishing without flood. Disrespect dominates when we react in kind, splashing chaos into chaos. The theme gleams with conviction. Speak your truth without fire, by pausing into presence, crafting responses that honor your essence, while inviting clarity. This awakens profound awareness. Your voice is a sacred instrument, tuned to frequencies of grace that resonate universally, turning antagonists into mirrors of growth. It's personal reclamation, relatable to every soul who's choked on unvoiced hurt. Step into Marcus's forge, where this alchemy burned bright. A project lead in a humming tech firm, he watched his innovative pitch drowned by Raj, the senior dev's interruptions. That's naive. Stick to code. Meetings became Marcus's inferno. Ideas ashes at his feet. One pivotal demo. As Raj steamrolled again, Marcus inhaled the citadel's calm. Eyes locking steady, he said, "Raj, your experience sharpens us all, yet I sense we're missing my angle here. Shall we pause and explore it fully?" "No edge, just invitation laced with steel," Raj faltered, then yielded. The team leaned in. Marcus's concepts soared. Promotions followed. He hadn't yelled, he'd alchemized dismissal into dialogue. Your forge awaits the same transmutation. Listener, every slight a chance to speak gold. Infuse this with spiritual cadence. We are verbal vessels of the cosmos, words, vibrations shaping reality's web. Disrespect disrupts harmony when speech mirrors discord. Serene response restores it, aligning chakras of throat and heart. Cultivate through invocation before tense exchanges touch your throat. Affirm my words flow true, tempered by light. Pause in the breach. Count 3 heartbeats, feeling rivers gather. Respond with I ownership. I feel sidelined when interrupted. Let's weave our insights together. This formula, observation, feeling, request, channels energy without expenditure. I've seen it liberate quiet warriors, teachers redirecting disruptive classes, partners mending rifts mid-storm, each utterance a spell of sovereignty. Delve into the heart's reflections, warmth, blooming like embers to flame. When barbs fly, a neighbor's scoff at your garden, a date's patronizing tone, anchor in the pause. Discern the alchemy. Reaction fuels their fire. Response quenches it in yours. Craft vividly. Your view challenges me, and I value that, yet my path calls for this step. Thoughts. Surprise ripples. They've braced for blast, met melody. Emotional acuity sharpens here. Read their posture, tone their intent. Chronic aggressors warrant firmer flow, allies gentler currents. Universally, it binds us. From courtrooms where advocates sway juries with poise, to family tables where elders bridge divides, serene speech unites in eloquent evolution. Let this potency course through you, voice box humming with newfound timbre. Hone the craft in solitude. Mirror rehearsals, scripting silken retorts to imagined slights. Record, refine, rhythm. Steady, inflection rising like smoke to signal, falling to soothe. Marcus practiced nightly, transforming dread to delight in discourse. Spiritually, this attunes to universal eloquence. Prophets spoke parables to pierce hearts, sages questions to unveil truths. Your speech becomes prophecy, foretelling respect, earned through grace. Disrespect, once silencing you, now amplifies your clarity, foes fading or folding into fold. Push into experiential depth. On my path, a debate turned venomous, opponents' barbs aimed to bury, my serene riposte. Your passion mirrors mine, let's align it towards solution. Venom vaporized, alliance formed. Yours will echo this, colleagues conceding, skeptics swayed, nurture with post-speak reflection. What flowed pure, What stirred sediment? Journal sparks the next refinement. Feel the emotional surge. This is vocal renaissance, words, wings lifting you above tumult. This chapter's embers glow steady, leaving your speech alchemized. Conversations conquered with calm fire. Fulfillment resonates, voice vibrating victory. Yet power amplifies through alliance, choosing voices that lift, not those that drag. Serene speech clears the air, but true ascent demands elevators over anchors. Next, we curate your sacred circle, listener. Speak onward with me into chosen harmony. Chapter 6. Elevators over anchors. Picture wings unfurling in your chest. Listener, powerful gusts lifting you skyward as heavy stones plummet away, their drag replaced by soaring currents that carry dreamers to unimaginable heights. You're encircled by faces. Some reach with open hands, boosting your climb. Others grip ankles, smirking as they anchor you to mud. The air thins, exhilarating, as you release the weights, rising into a realm where only uplift thrives. This is the sacred audit of your circle, where disrespect dissolves not in isolation, but in deliberate curation, choosing elevators that propel, releasing anchors that drown. Feel the ascent begin. Your spirit yearns for this elevation, a profound shift from tolerance to triumph. No more grounded dreams. Your flight claims the horizon now. Anchor deep into this chapter's luminous truth. Curating your circle isn't selective snobbery. It's spiritual stewardship of your energy field, a cosmic garden where you sow alliances that amplify your essence. Envision souls as winds in the grand atmospheric dance, elevators as warm-up drafts spiraling you higher, anchors as downdrafts sucking vitality earthward. Disrespect festers in unbalanced orbits, where anchors dominate, mistaking loyalty for chains. The core pulses with unyielding clarity. Surround yourself with elevators by auditing relationships with ruthless compassion, pruning deadweight to make space for those who mirror and magnify your light. This awakens eternal awareness. Your tribe shapes your trajectory, universally binding every seeker who dares to fly untethered. Enter Sophia's skies, where this curation painted vivid strokes. A budding chef in a bustling city kitchen, her nights birthed fusion recipes that tantalized palates. Yet her friends, a clique of jaded cooks, gathered post-shift to dismantle her visions. Too risky, Sophie. Play safe. Their anchors dragged her experiments to scraps, confidence circling the drain. One starlit roof escape. Sophia mapped her wins, elevators like mentor Rosa, whose nods fueled fire, anchors like cynical Tom, whose barbs bred doubt heart-aching. She invited the group for a tasting, then spoke her truth. Your company warms me, yet our paths diverge. Let's cherish memories and part as stars. No drama, just release. She dove into Rosa's orbit, collaborations blooming into her own food truck empire. Anchors faded, elevators launched her legacy. Your audit beckons the same liberation. Listener wings tested in chosen skies. Weave in the spiritual tapestry binding us. We are stardust collectives, energies entwining in soul contracts for growth. Anchors represent karmic lessons exhausted, elevators, fresh pacts of mutual ascent. Disrespect signals misalignment, anchors resent your lift, fearing abandonment, honor the divine prune. Evening rituals under canopy of breath, listing 10 souls by impact. Elevators, ignite passion, challenge kindly, celebrate wins. Anchors, dim spark, criticize chronically, drain without reciprocity, release gently, fade responses, nurture distance, invite new wins. I've witnessed nomads transform musicians ditching doubters for collaborators, healers circling lightbringers, each curation aligning chakras to collective rise. Let insight cascade like thermal waves, buoying reflection. Audit reveals patterns. Anchors cluster in comfort zones. Elevators in growth scale. When disrespect gusts, a peer's envy-laced envy at your promotion, a kin's belittling of your pivot, test the wind. Does it lift or lid? Respond with grace. Grateful for our history. My ascent calls new heights. Emotional discernment blooms. Chronic anchors warrant skyward severance. Redeemable ones, boundary breezes, universally resonant, from startups where founders prune toxic teams to villages where elders guide youth to worthy kin. Curation unites in upward spiral. Feel the exhilaration swell, winds whispering freedom's song. Cultivate elevators actively. Seek symposia of shared fire. Volunteer in passion fields. Affirm invitations to aligned hearts. Sophia hosted pop-up dinners, drawing gusts of gourmet allies. Her truck soared on their collective lift. Spiritually, this invokes abundance's law. Release scarcity's grip. Receive overflow. Daily decree in your citadel. I attract winds that wing me higher. Disrespect from anchors. Mere ground mist. Irrelevant to your altitude. Hone through logs. Track elevates gifts. Anchors voids. Patterns propel precision. Venture into wisdom's stratosphere. My own flight once tangled in anchor vines. A companion whose shade stifled my scribe's pen. Pruning her, I soared into scribe circles. Words flowed unbound. Yours mirrors colleagues evolving to comrades. Strangers blooming to soul siblings. Nurture with gratitude rites. Thank elevators openly, honoring their lift. Feel the emotional zenith. This is tribal renaissance. Circle a launch pad to legacy. This chapter's updrafts, steady, leaving you airborne. Alliances alchemized into ascent. Fulfillment soars, trajectory transformed. Yet true propulsion ignites from falls. Rejection sting, transmuted to stellar thrust. Elevators propel, but rejection refuels. Next, we harness its rocket roar, listener. Climb higher with me into fueled flight. Chapter 7. Rejection's rocket ignition. Ignite now, listener. The searing thrust of rejection's flame erupting beneath you. Not as a crash into oblivion, but a launch pad blasting you through stratospheric veils toward stars once deemed unreachable. You're hurled backward by a curt no, doors slamming like thunder, faces turning away in disdain, leaving you tumbling in zero gravity's sting. But feel the roar build. Fuel ignites from that very expulsion, propelling you past their horizon into orbits of audacious triumph. This is rejection's rocket ignition, where disrespect's dismissal transmutes into your most ferocious ascent. Heart pounding with propulsion, you sense it. This isn't loss, it's liftoff, hurtling you toward destinies their smallness couldn't contain. Strap in, your trajectory rewrites the heavens. Seize the blazing core of this transmutation. Rejection isn't fate's final verdict, it's cosmic redirection, a spiritual thrust vector, correcting your path from dead-end orbits to expansive infinity. Picture existence as a vast launch field, souls as vessels primed for flight. Disrespect the abort signal from grounded controllers, fearing your altitude. The theme surges with irrefutable fire. Turn rejection into rocket fuel by interrogating its propulsion. What skill ignites? What door unlocks elsewhere? Channeling scorn's heat into unrelenting velocity. This awakens primal awareness. Every no is thrust, every slight a booster stage, shedding weight for speed. Universally resonant, it fuels the inventor's pivot, the lover's rebirth, binding us in ascent's eternal flame. Blast into Nora's launch, where rejection roared to legend. A graphic novelist sketching worlds in her dim apartment, she pitched her epic to publisher after publisher. each returned manuscript scarred with red ink. Unmarketable visions, tri-realism, agents ghosted, peers snickered at her fantasy folly. Nora crashed nights in tears, portfolio gathering dust like failed prototypes. Then, amid ashes of the 100th rejection, she ignited. What propels here? Her heroine's resilience mirrored her own. She honed storytelling through free online shares, dissecting feedback like telemetry data. Views rocketed, crowdfunders fueled print runs, bestseller lists beckoned while original rejectors scrambled for rights. Rejection didn't ground her, it G-force launched her empire. Your silo awaits fueling, listener, every dismissal a countdown to cleave the sky. Infuse this with stellar spiritual mechanics. We are starseed rockets, souls engineered for cosmic expansion, rejections gravitational slingshots flinging us faster toward purpose. Disrespect signals misalignment, their atmosphere too thin for your payload. Harness via post-burn ritual. Capture the blast in journals. Rejection from X highlights Y gap, master's aid. Convert sting to strategy. Double practice hours, prototype wildly, network beyond their nebula. I've rocketed through voids. A visionary dismissed by gatekeepers, fueling solo voyages to summits they envied. A firm in citadel cockpits. This thrust accelerates my stars. Emotional thrust builds. Pain compresses to plasma, powering past plateaus. Let propulsion pulse through veins, reflections streaking like comet tails. When rejection reigns, a job ghosted despite brilliance, a pitch pulverized anchor in the cockpit. Query: what engine does this tune? Colleagues' cold shoulder. Accelerate networking thrusters. Lovers rebuff, refine relational avionics. Discernment discriminates, chronic rejectors eject, as jettisoned stages. One-offs refine your hull. Universally it catapults from garages, birthing tech titans, to stages, launching scorned singers. Rejection unites in orbital brotherhood. Feel the G-forces exhilarate, acceleration anthems swelling. Engineer your rockets, modular missions, micro-wins, stacking to mega launches. Nora serialized chapters weekly, traction thrusting her to agents begging entry. Spiritually this obeys momentum's law, velocity begets velocity, abundance cascades. Daily drills, visualize liftoff from slights, trajectory arcing triumphant. Disrespect, exhaust plume trailing your ascent, irrelevant in ionosphere. Plunge into trajectory's forge. My path scorched when collaborators bailed mid-voyage. Too risky, fueling solo, I docked with dreamers, ventures pierced clouds. Yours echoes, ventures venture bolder, arts amplify audacity. Nurture with victory vectors, map rejections to triumphs, graphing ascent, emotional apex surges. This is stellar sovereignty, rejection your personal Saturn V. This chapter's boosters burn true, hurtling you stellarward, fuel forged flawless, ecstasy engines, path potent, yet supremacy shines inward, self-respect's solar core, radiating command. Rejection rockets you afar, but self-respect anchors the stars. Next we kindle that inner sun, listener. Thrust toward radiance with me. Chapter 8. The Radiant Mirror of Self-Respect. Gaze into the blazing mirror before you, listener, a vast, flawless pane of molten gold, suspended in your soul's grand hall, reflecting not the shadows others cast, but the incandescent sovereign you were born to embody. Shadows flicker at the edges, sneers from the sidelines, dismissals dripping like acid rain, attempts to tarnish your reflection with their grime. Yet the mirror holds true, amplifying your core light until it drowns their dimness in solar fury. Feel the heat rise, empowering as you step closer, no longer shrinking from the gaze, but commanding it with regal fire. This is the radiant mirror of self-respect, where you become the sun others orbit or burn away from. Your essence awakens now, magnetic and merciless in its purity. Disrespect withers before this inner blaze. Embrace the searing heart of this revelation. Self-respect isn't a fragile shield against slights. It's the spiritual forge birthing your aura, a luminous field that repels unworthiness while drawing the divine aligned. Envision your soul as a celestial body. Self-respect, its gravitational corona, pulling worthy satellites into harmonious spin, flinging debris into void. Disrespect invades when this field dims, inviting eclipses of your light. The theme ignites with fierce conviction. Cultivate self-respect as your primary radiance by treating yourself as cosmic royalty, time sacred, body temple, dreams edicts, mirroring outward the honor you decree within. This sparks eternal awakening. Your projected sovereignty commands reciprocity, universally igniting the servant's rise, the visionary's valor, binding souls in self-crowned glory. Witness Tamara's mirror polish to brilliance. A freelance illustrator sketching ethereal landscapes from her cluttered loft. She fielded endless client cuts, too dreamy tone it down. Galleries ghosted, peers plagiarized her style with smirks. Tamara's canvas grew barren, self-portraits faded to smears. One solstice eve, alone with her reflection, she ignited the rite, donned silks, evoking queens, cleared her altar space for creation alone, decreed, "My vision reigns, no mortal dims it." Dawn rituals followed, lavish breakfasts fueling sketches, no to underpaying gigs, strides in attire, screaming artistry. Clients circled back begging, peers deferred. Her mirror didn't beg respect, it beamed it, transmuting scorn to homage. Polish yours thus, listener, every self-honor, a facet gleaming brighter. Infuse celestial spiritual fire. We are star kings and queens, essences predestined for thrones beyond earthly vote. Disrespect eclipses when self-respect flickers, outsourcing radiance to fickle suns, kindle via sovereign sacraments. Morning ablutions as coronation, bath oils anointing body temple, attire curated as armor of intent, time partitioned holy, golden hours for dreams untouched, evenings for soul feasts sans intrusion. Affirm in mirror's blaze, I am the light source, shadows serve or scatter. I've crowned wanderers thus, merchants rejecting hagglers for premium realms, sages silencing doubters with serene supremacy, each Polish aligning orbits to abundance. Let golden reflections cascade, aura expanding like dawn's corona. When disrespect dares, a superior's slight in stride. Acquaintance jab at your joy, stand in your mirror, move as monarch, posture erect, gaze direct, essence exuding. I contain multitudes, their barbs refract harmless, your field repelling. Emotional sovereignty surges, query the mirror. Does this honor my reign? Invariably no, detach with royal wave. Universally, it empowers, from markets where vendors price as princes, to forums where speakers claim stages unbowed. Self-respect unites in regal resonance. Feel the solar swell, warmth crowning your crown. Elevate the mirror's art, surround with symbols of splendor. Journals logging triumphs as edicts, spaces evoking empires. Tamara gilded frames with success vignettes, her loft a palace drawing collaborators. Spiritually, this invokes manifestation's mirror law. What you radiate returns amplified. Daily dominion, walk streets as sovereign surveying realms, dine as feasts for gods, rest as recharge for realms. Disrespect, moths to your flame, singed or scent fleeing. Delve into throne room wisdom. My mirror once dulled under counsel's contempt. Ideas deemed presumptuous. Recrowning myself, I decreed solo sanctums, realms expanded, council sought audience. Yours resounds, promotions procured by poise, bonds forged on your terms. Nurture with reflection, altars, evening scans. Where did I queen today? Emotional pinnacle blazes. This is imperial inception, self-respect your eternal scepter. This chapter's light holds eternal. Your mirror magnified, sovereignty supreme, radiance rapturous, realm ruled. Yet thrones demand release, forgiveness, phoenix flight, unburdening for boundless blaze. Self-respect radiates command, but forgiveness frees the flight. Next, we rise unbound. Listener, crown onward with me, into liberated light. Chapter 9, Forgiveness, the Phoenix Unchained. Watch flames lick the edges of your heaviest chains. Listener, a bonfire roaring in the shadowed courtyard of your soul, consuming not flesh, but the iron weights of grudge that have dragged you through years of unseen mire. You're encircled by ghosts of old wounds. The betrayer's smirk frozen in memory, the dismisser's laugh echoing like distant thunder, each link forged from their barbs now melting in purifying heat. Feel the blaze kiss your skin, not scorching but caressing, as ash swirls upward, birthing wings of iridescent fire from your back. This is forgiveness, the phoenix rite, where you rise not for their sake but yours unchained, skybound, leaving scorched earth behind. Your breath catches in awe. This liberation pulses alive, urging you to surrender to the updraft now. Grasp the incandescent essence of this sacred release. Forgiveness isn't absolution for the offender or erasure of harm. It's the spiritual conflagration that severs your tether to their toxicity, reclaiming your flight path for unburdened soar. Picture the soul as a vast aviary, grudges as ravens pecking at wingtips, drawing blood with every flap. Disrespect imprisons when we clutch these birds, mistaking captivity for justice. The theme blazes with soul-deep certainty. Forgive not to reconcile, but to unchain your own ascent, visualizing their shadows dissolving in your fire, so your light expands unbound. This ignites primordial awakening. Holding pain poisons the holder. Release births boundless vitality, universally freeing the warrior's heart, the healer's hands, weaving us in phoenix kinship. Step into Lila's inferno, where forgiveness feathered flight anew. A community organizer rallying for green spaces in her concrete jungle, she trusted partner Devon implicitly until he sabotaged her key petition with leaked lies. Smirking dreamers crash, humiliation rippled, volunteers scattered, Lila's nights devoured by raven replays of his glee. Rage rooted her, campaigns crumbling under grudge's weight. One harvest moon, alone by a bonfire's glow, she gathered photos of the betrayal, fed them to flames, whispering, "I release your hold, not your deed, but my chains." Visualization deepened, Devon as a stumbling silhouette in perpetual dusk, her fire illuminating her path alone. Wings unfurled, she rebuilt solo, alliances authentic, park blooming verdant. Devon faded to footnote, her phoenix didn't perch on his pyre, it claimed solitary skies. Kindle your blaze. Similarly, listener, every burn a beat toward boundlessness. Imbue this with phoenix spiritual alchemy. We are eternal risers, souls cycling through ash to apex. Forgiveness the bellows, fanning rebirth. Disrespect lodges as raven roosts when unforgiven, blocking meridians of mercy. Invoke via pyre communion. Twilight vigils, naming wounds aloud. Your slight stole X. I reclaim it now. Then envision a fender as fog form, stumbling blindly, your flames parting unscathed. No contact urged, inner right suffices. I've phoenixed through pyres, a confidant's public shaming fueling my isolation, till release rocketed renewal. Decree in your aviary, I burn bridges to burdens, wings for wonders. Emotional embers warm, venom vaporizes, vitality vaults free. Let phoenix plumes rustle in reflection, fires, forging fortitude. When old ghosts haunt a former friend's cutting post, lingering ex-colleagues echo in promotions, stoke the courtyard blaze. Discern, their fog persists. Does your tether sever with right? Right the grievance, incinerate symbolically, affirm freed for flight. Raven remnants repel naturally. Universally potent, from reconciliation-free refugees, reclaiming joy, to artists torching critics' caricatures, forgiveness unites in unwinged unity. Feel the thermal lift, rebirth's rapture rising. Amplify the right. Integrate feathers of freedom. Journals charting lightened loads post-pyre, spaces cleared of relics. Lila adorned her desk with ash ink affirmations, campaigns cresting phoenix high. Spiritually, this activates soul's renewal cycle. Release invites influx, grace cascades, dawn declarations. Today, I soar unchained. Disrespects ravens, grounded illusions, irrelevant aloft, plumb, rebirth's pyre depths. My unchaining scorched when a patron's plagiarism chained my craft, fogging him freed verses to virality. Yours resounds, ventures vault from vendettas, kinships kindle clearer, nurture with flight logs, track elevations post-release, graphing grace, emotional zenith soars. This is avian apotheosis, forgiveness your eternal ember. This chapter's pyre purges, pure, wings wide, unchained utterly. Bliss billows, being boundless. Yet sovereignty summons stormcraft, leadership's lofty poise, amid gales. Forgiveness frees flight, but leadership lifts legions. Next we master the maelstrom, listener, rise renewed with me, into guiding gales. Chapter 10. Leadership above the tempest. Stand atop the ancient oak, in the heart of a raging tempest. Listener, winds howling like vengeful spirits, lightning cracking the sky asunder, while below lesser trees thrash and splinter under nature's fury. Their branches claw desperately, voices lost in chaos. Yet you remain rooted, limbs swaying in rhythmic defiance, canopy channeling gales into symphonies of power. Disrespect surges like these storms, torrents of toxicity meant to uproot. But here, in poised supremacy, you lead not by battling the gale, but by becoming its serene eye. Feel the thunder vibrate through your core, not as threat, but as testament. This is leadership above the tempest, where your unshakable calm becomes the beacon others instinctively follow. The storm rages on, you rise through it, commanding respect by the sheer gravity of your grace. Delve into the thunderous core of this elevated art. Leadership amid disrespect isn't domination through volume or vengeance. It's the spiritual pinnacle where your inner citadel expands outward, a vortex of poise that transmutes turmoil into tidal harmony. Imagine the cosmos as an eternal stormfront. Soul's whirlwinds, seeking centers of calm disrespect, the peripheral frenzy born of imbalance. The theme resounds with lightning clarity. Lead by rising above the storm through deliberate elevation, modeling excellence, guiding dialogue skyward, inspiring through immutable poise, turning toxicity's thunder into your orchestra of influence. This awakens sovereign awareness. True authority flows from vertical ascent, universally empowering the overlooked elder, the visionary in the vortex. uniting us in storm-crowned mastery. Enter Kai's Gale, where leadership lightning struck legend. A team coordinator in a fracturing startup. He navigated boardroom squalls daily. Investors barking doubts, colleagues clashing like crossed blades. His proposals drowned in derisive gales. Pipe dreams Kai, tempers flared, deadlines splintered. One cataclysmic pitch, as barbs flew wild, Kai anchored in his oak. Breath steady, he rose, voice cutting calm. This storm reveals our shared fire. Let's harness it. My vision aligns our strength. Who builds with me? No counterpunch, pure redirection. Chaos hushed, hands joined, prototype launched to acclaim. Investors bowed. Kai's poise pivoted peril to profit. Your tempest calls the same command. Listener, every gust a chance to crest the canopy. Breathe the spiritual stormcraft, binding realms. We are vortex vanguard, souls destined to center whirlwinds, leadership the axis, aligning disparate winds to whirlwind wonders. Disrespect disrupts as downdrafts when we dive into drafts. Elevation edits equilibrium, cultivate via gale communion, pre-storm centering. Visualize your oak amid forecasts, limbs listing lessons from past peels. In breach, pause profoundly. Survey the swirl, select uplift. This friction fuels. Let's forge forward together. Redirect with questions. Questing unity. What vision unites us here? I've crested cyclones, a circle splintered by skeptics. My poise pulling fragments to fused force. Affirm amid arbors, I am the eye. Storms serve my serenity. Let canopy confidence cascade, reflections rippling like rain on resolute bark. When tempests touch a superior salvo shredding suggestions, peers pettiness poisoning progress, embody the oak, posture plants firm. Shoulders squared, gaze gale-piercing, tone thunder-tempered. Their lightning glances off. Your calm conducts currents upward. Emotional equanimity excels. Probe the tempest's pulse. Is it passing front or perpetual pressure? Fleeting forces fuel fusion. Fixed foes fade from focus. Universally galvanizing from war rooms where captains calm cascades to hearths where matriarchs mend maelstroms. Leadership lifts in luminous leagues. Feel the vortex, vitality surge. Winds, whispering dominions dirge. Master the movement. Layer leadership like lightning rods. Subtle shifts for squalls. Seismic summons for supercells. With volatile voices, your vigor vitalizes. Channel it to our common crest. Chronic cyclones exemplify ascent, letting actions avalanche allegiance. Kai cascaded thus. Daily demos dazzled doubters, his startup soaring stratospheric. Spiritually, this channel's cheese cyclone poise polarizes positives, repels refuse. Twilight tallies. Where did I eye the storm today? Disrespect? Distant drizzle beneath your bows. Venture into vortex virtuosity. My maelstrom mounted when mentors mocked mid-mission. Unproven path. Cresting canopy calm. I queried quests aligning. Alliances amassed. Missions manifested. Yours reverberates. Teams transmute under tutelage. Legacies loom large. Nurture with canopy chronicles. Log leadership lifts. Mapping mastery. Emotional empyrean erupts. This is arboreal epigee. Leadership your lightning rod to legend. This chapter's gale gentles golden. Your oak omnipotent. Storms subdued. Majesty mantles. Mastery manifest. Yet ascent's apex asks discernment. Knowing when winds warrant withdrawal. Graceful glides to greener groves. Leadership lifts the fray, but wise walks preserve the wings. Next, we master merciful exits. Listener, crest the calm with me. into discerning dawn. Chapter 11. The Graceful Art of Sovereign Departure. Envision a golden path unfurling through mist-shrouded woods. Listener, your footsteps light on dew-kissed earth as thorny thickets and howling wolves fade into the underbrush behind, their snarls swallowed by the symphony of birdsong ahead. You're not fleeing in panic, cloak torn and heart hammering. No, you stride with lantern held high, back straight, a quiet smile curving your lips, as if bidding farewell to a chapter whose ink has long dried. Disrespect gathers like those wolves, snapping, circling, demanding you fight or cower. But here, in the graceful art of sovereign departure, you choose the path's promise over the pack's peril. Feel the mist part, fresh winds caressing your face. This isn't retreat, it's reclamation. A masterful exit that leaves you lighter, landscapes forever changed. Your soul sighs in recognition. This is the power of walking away, head held as if crowned. Anchor into the luminous heart of this discerning wisdom. Sovereign departure isn't defeat masked as dignity or bridges burned in bitterness. It's the spiritual discernment of the sage, severing ties that sap your essence to preserve the sacred garden of your growth. Picture life as an ever-branching woodland, paths converging then cleaving. Disrespect the overgrown trail looped in brambles, looping back to drain your dawn. The theme resonates with crystalline resolve. Know when to walk away gracefully by spotting irredeemable drains, chronic critics, relentless vampires, and executing exits with poise that honors your trajectory, opening meadows of abundance. This stirs ancient awareness. Every worthy warrior discerns battle from burden, universally guiding the nomad from dead ends, the seeker from stagnant streams, weaving us in paths of purposeful passage. Journey with Ronan through his woodland crossroads, where departure dawned, divine. A woodworker crafting heirloom tables in his sunlit shed. He mentored a circle of apprentices, pouring wisdom into calloused hands. Yet among them lurked Silas, a sharp-tongued drifter, whose advice masked sabotage, tools misplaced, designs mocked as quaint relics, whispers turning clients wary. Ronan's craft dimmed under the drain, shavings scattering like lost focus. One autumn equinox, amid fallen leaves mirroring shed burdens, Ronan gathered the group by lantern light. Eyes serene, voice steady as heartwood. Silas, our trails intertwined with hope, yet yours veers to shadows mine can't chase. I release you to your forest with gratitude for lessons learned. No tirade, just truth. Silas slunk away. Ronan's shed bloomed anew, apprentices thriving, tables treasures sought afar. Departure didn't diminish Ronan, it deepened his domain. Chart your thickets similarly. Listener, every snare a signpost to stride free. Infuse this with woodland spiritual wanderlust. We are pathfinders eternal, souls mapping realms through root and realm. Departures the prunings, preserving life's lush canopy. Disrespect entangles as vine-choked vias when we linger in loops. Grace-guided exits edit the expedition, cultivate via lantern litany. Dusk divinations listing entanglements, chronic critic drains X, vampire voids Y, then discern dead ends, patterns persisting post-boundary pleas, energy eternally ebbed, exit elegantly. Prepared phrases like sacred scrolls, our paths part with peace, thrive in your thicket, delivered door-framed, distance dignified. I've wandered woods where waylayers waylaid, associate siphoning spirit, till severance set my stride to summits. Whisper in wildwood vigils, I choose clearings over chains. Let pathlight play across your palms, reflections rustling like leaves in revelation. When wolves whine, akin ceaseless carps corroding calm, Colleagues, covert cuts, curdling collaboration. Halt at the hedge, heed hallmarks. Hope exhausted, harmony hollowed, your harvest halted. Depart with dawn's demeanor. Note of nobility, valued our venture. Mine veers verdant, then vanish into vapor trails. Emotional elegance emerges, no nectar of winning arguments, nectar of newfound new universally trailblazing, from artisans, abandoning ateliers of animosity, to clans cleaving corrosive kin, departures unite in untrodden unity. Feel the forward flow flush your frame, breezes bearing belongings ballad, refine the right. Trail talismans, tokens of triumphs post-passage, maps marking meadows gained. Ronan ringed his shed with shed-skin carvings, craft cascading celestial. Spiritually, this summons serendipity's stream. Vacuums invite vines of vitality. Providence paves. Sunrise summons. Today I tread true trails. Disrespects dens. Distant dusk beneath your dawns. Probe passages profound thickets. My meanders met marauders mid-mosaic. A patron perpetually pilfering peace. Parting propelled partnerships profound. Yours re-echoes, vocations vault, via valorous valedictions. Circles clarify, crystalling, sustain with stride scrolls, chronicling crossroads, conquered, compass calibrating. Emotional Elysium expands. This is peregrine pinnacle. Departure, your divining lantern. This chapter's paths, part pristine. Your stride sovereign, thickets tamed to memory. Liberation lingers, landscapes luminous. Yet the woodland whispers culmination, your powers propagating pulse. Rippling realms, eternal. Graceful departures dawn new dawns, but culmination calls convergence. Next, we weave your legacies, living wave. Listener, tread triumphantly, with me, into rippling radiance. Chapter 12. The eternal ripple of sovereign power. Behold a single pebble breaking the mirror-still surface of an ancient lake. Listener, ripples racing outward in ever-widening circles, touching distant shores, stirring hidden depths, transforming the entire expanse from slumber to shimmering symphony. You've cast that pebble from the shadowed figure stung by disregard, through citadels forged, boundaries drawn, circles curated, rejections rocketed, forgiveness flamed, leadership loomed, and departures dawned. Now, those waves cascade through your life, lapping at careers unchained, relationships reborn, spirits soaring, your newfound power not contained, but propagating, a living force that reshapes worlds beyond your gaze. Feel the water tremble beneath your fingertips. This is the eternal ripple of sovereign power, where handling disrespect births a legacy that echoes across eternities. Your heart swells with the vastness. This isn't conclusion, it's the dawn of your unending influence. Settle into the profound culmination of our odyssey. This final chapter weaves every thread into an unbreakable tapestry. Your sovereign power ripples eternally because you've transmuted disrespect from wound to wellspring. Each lesson a concentric wave, amplifying your essence across life's lake. Envision existence as this boundless water body, soul's droplets merging into currents. Disrespect mere splashes from distant disturbances. Your ripples the deliberate waves of mastery that harmonize chaos into creation. The theme pulses with triumphant clarity. Live as the ripple source by embodying integrated sovereignty daily, awareness anchoring, speech serene, self-respect solar, allowing your power to propagate organically, inspiring silent revolutions in all you touch. This crowns our journey with awakened dominion. You've not just survived slights, you've become the tide others navigate, universally empowering the quiet architect, the resilient ripple maker, binding humanity in waves of worth. Reflect on Ilara's lake, where ripples rewrote realms, once so overlooked librarian shelving dreams amid dusty tomes. She endured patrons' patronizing purrs, stick to stories dear, colleagues' casual cuts curbing her community literacy vision. Our path ignited her. Chains snapped in awareness, citadel claimed, boundaries breathed, circle cleansed of cynics, rejection refueled her workshops, forgiveness freed her focus, leadership lured locals, departure ditched detractors, her library bloomed into a beacon story circles, swelling streets, youth devouring tomes, elders exchanging epics, patrons who once dismissed, now deferred. Her ripples reached City Hall, funding flowed. Ilara didn't preach power, she lived it, waves washing weariness into wonder. Your surges similarly. Listener, every empowered encounter a pebble plummeting profound. Immerse in the spiritual symphony, sustaining these swells. We are ripple realms incarnate, souls sourced from the one ocean, disturbances dissolving in deliberate waves. Disrespect disrupts as erratic splashes when sovereignty slumbers. Your integrated arsenal aligns to aquamarine authority, sustain via dawn dives, mirror meditations merging chapters, awareness anchors my depth, boundaries buoy my flow, then propel into day as living wave. Greet drains with citadel calm, elevate elevators with serene speech, fuel falls with rocket resolve. Evening echoes, trace your ripples. Where did waves touch today? I've rippled through reservoirs, a slight spurned scribe whose sovereignty swelled symposia, cascades claiming continents, decree amid depth. My power propagates, pure and perpetual. Let concentric insights cascade, surfaces, singing your sovereignty. Daily, disrespect droplets dance distant bosses, barb brushes boundary, acquaintance aside, anchors elsewhere, yet your ripples respond regal. Pause poised, reflect radiant, proceed propagating. Emotional equilibrium endures, probe each plash. Does this deepen my lake or dilute? Invariably it deepens, waves weaving wisdom outward, universally undulating from factories where foremen foster flourishing, to hearths where homemakers harmonize havens, ripples unite in oceanic oneness. Feel the aqueous awakening amplify, currents carrying cosmic cadence, propagate purposefully. Seed symposia, share stories, sound sermon, model mastery mutely. Ilara's evening readings rippled readers to authors. Her lake lapped literary legacies. Spiritually, this manifests momentum's miracle. Waves wax, drawing kindred currents. Abundance aquifers. Twilight tides. I am the source. Shores seek my song. Disrespect. Faint froth on your flood. Fodder for further flow. Plunge into propagation's profound pools. My own lake leaped when disregard drove depths. Mentor's mockery, mirroring mediocrity. Ripples rallied realms, resonances resounding. Yours resounds. Promotions pulse from poise. Partnerships precipitate from power. Sustain with wave weaves journals, joining daily dances to distant dawns, graphing grandeur. Emotional eternity expands. This is lacustrine luminescence, ripples your realm's refrain. Our journey's lake lies luminous, ripples reaching realms unseen, sovereignty supreme, fulfillment floods, forever flowing. You've become the tide, unstoppable, uplifting, universal.